Discovery. Morning, Jody. Morning, Niti.
Good morning. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm good. I'm good. You okay?
Yes.
Hi, Niti. We're gonna wait for a while. Because we start in I think in 3 minutes.
So we need our alumni to arrive, really, don't we?
Yeah, they are arriving now.
Oh, good.
Uh, good, good. Mm, mm, mm. Lots of students ask us whether we can record this section so that we can upload it for them on
Yeah,
Facebook and WhatsApp later because they have classes today.
yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
We definitely can do that.
Yeah.
That's the benefit, I guess, of us doing it online. It
Yeah.
means we can do that.
Yeah.
So we've still got a couple of minutes, haven't we?
Yeah.
So they're doing everything that they're doing. Yeah, so it's on it out as well. Yeah. Allegedly cancelled it. Next one wasn't for another 12 months after I bought it. Some of it means that I can't, some of it means the car's not actually safe to drive. So I know, and this is what I don't
So
get.
welcome everyone. At the moment, we're
Yeah.
just waiting
Uh,
for a few more people to arrive before we make a start.
we got Ian here. She's one of the alumni.
Fantastic.
Let me open her mic. Okay, Ian, you are allowed to speak and to show your camera now.
All right, hello. Hello, Nam. Hello, Jody. I'm
Good
Ian.
morning.
Hello. Yeah.
So we are just waiting. We're going to give it another couple more minutes. We've got a couple more alumni on their way, and give people another few minutes to arrive. We're also for those that have just arrived as well, going to record this session because there's a few people that can't make it. So Nam's going to share it for those that have requested it later. How are you this morning, Yen?
Yeah, I'm doing so good today. I have some classes today, yeah. But this afternoon, actually is 4 p.m. here in Vietnam. Yeah. So I'm having break and taking part in the meeting.
Fantastic. Yeah,
So
it's 10 o'clock here and a little bit cloudy and miserable where I am. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's hot in Vietnam now. It's like 36 degrees here.
Wow.
It's very hot.
It's not like that around here, is it? Is it, Nam?
Yeah.
Very different.
Okay, so we got Phương here. Phương is also the speaker. Let me
Fantastic.
allow his. Okay, Phương, I have allowed your mic and your camera. So can you test your microphone?
Hi, everyone.
All right. Yeah.
Can you hear
Fantastic.
me?
Fantastic. Yeah.
And I
We
know
still have one alumni, right?
yeah, so we should have Rasha come in. You did say she was available, so we'll give her another couple of minutes. If not, we can make a start, and if she arrives late,
All right.
that's not a problem. And just to let you know, for those that just arrived, we will be recording it so that we can share it with people who couldn't make it today. Because I think there was a lot of interest, but people are in classes, so we'll make sure people have access to that.
Yeah. I spread the link already. it worked for the students and for the applicants, so no worries.
Fantastic.
Edna. Hello, Edna.
Hello. Fantastic.
Hey,
People are
people.
starting to make their way in.
Yeah.
I'll give it maybe another minute, just so people aren't hanging around. And if Rasha arrives, then she can just join in as we're partway through. It's going to be very informal, just an opportunity for people to chat about their experiences as a student and experiences of kind of once you've graduated and how the course has helped you with your career. So we'll all introduce ourselves in a minute, including myself and Nam. And then we'll kind of start asking a few questions, and other people can ask questions as well.
Okay.
Just check my emails. I'll check Rasha hasn't emailed through.
Yeah. I'm calling for people. Yeah, so I've been spreading the news like since last week. So yeah, I think they are joining in. Maybe it will take a while.
That's not a problem. We can make a start, and like I said, we were hoping to have Rasha with us as well, but she might be having issues that we're not aware of. I'll keep an eye on my emails in case she pops through asking for some advice. So welcome to everyone that has come along today to our alumni panel. So just to give you a little bit of context as to why we're doing this. So April for us in the School of Education is Employability Month. This is something it's new. It's new to us this year, but we're hoping to build on it as a theme as we go forward. So what we decided to do was run a number of employability themed sessions that were aimed at applicants, aimed at current students, and aimed at people who might want to find out a little bit more about either courses or what they can do afterwards once they've graduated. We do have quite a few people interested in this session, but who couldn't make it because they're either on placement or they're in classes, so we are going to record and share this afterwards. To introduce myself, my name's Jodie Boyd and I'm the International Director for the School of Education and Professional Development. I'm also a qualified careers advisor, so employability for me is really key and is something that I feel quite strongly about. So these sorts of activities I find really interesting, listening to people's stories as to what they're doing with their careers and how the course helped them. If I could just get Nam to introduce himself, although I know most people know Nam, but it's quite nice to give him an opportunity just to say who he is and what he does.
Hi guys, so I'm Nam. I'm the international students from Vietnam, and currently I'm working at the School of Education as the International Student Experience Coordinator. So I work closely with Jody in terms of international student at our school, normally like coordinating events, like supporting international students. And so if you have any problems with your studies or your like life here at Huddersfield, you can ask me here. So I think you're quite familiar with me already because I've been joining like all the webinars and like online events with the international students, and so there'll be a mixture between current students and applicants here. So yeah, a lot of you will know me before through the webinars.
Thank you, Nam. And actually, you are as an alumni, we'll probably have a really good insight. So I might want to chip in with some of your insights when we've asked some of these questions, because you're a recent alumni, and obviously your course has resulted in you working here at the university and working for us. So I'd be really interested in your insights as well. So what I will do is I will get we've got 2 alumni with us. We are hoping to have a third on their way, but I'm not sure why they've not managed to make it today. Like I said, I'm going to keep my emails open just in case they're having technical issues. But if I can ask our alumni to introduce themselves, so just kind of like your name, where you're from, and the course that you studied. And if we start with Yen, just because I can see you on my screen.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so hi guys, my name's Ian. I'm from Vietnam and I'm an alumnus at the University of Perseverance. And my major is teaching English to speakers of other languages or teacher. So currently I'm a teacher in Vietnam and I'm also a member of a research organization in Vietnam. So that's all for my information.
Thank you very much. And I think it's Fong is our next alumni who should be able to unmute. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi guys. My name is Phương. You can call me Kate. So I graduated from University of Huddersfield last year, and my major was education with leadership and management pathway. And I'm currently a senior student support advisor in Arden University, based in Leeds. Yeah. So it's about me.
Yeah.
Nice to meet
Thank you.
everyone.
Fantastic. So my first question is really about why you chose the course that you actually chose and why you chose the major that you did. So if we keep in the same order, just because that helps, and then Nam, if you want to chip in at any point, you can do. So if we start with Yen, so what made you choose TESOL?
All right. So I got some recommendations from my friends and my teachers who are also the alumni at the University of Huddersfield. And I also did some research myself about the course, the curriculum, and the teachers. And I also knew their lecturers before I attended the course. And so I strongly believe that Huddersfield is a very good place for me to follow my postgraduate course. And also the living expenses in Huddersfield are very affordable for me compared to other cities in the UK. Yeah, and also I got a lot of support from the school in terms of both studies and also mental support during the time I studied in the University of Huddersfield.
Thank you. And I think that's a really, really good point that you make about the living costs in Huddersfield, because that's something that concerns a lot of people. And because we're not a big city, although it's easy to get to big cities, so we're very close to Leeds and we're very close to Manchester, Huddersfield isn't a big city, which does mean the living costs are much lower than some of the surrounding areas. And I know that that is really important to some students. That's a really good point. So Kate, same question to you. What made you choose the MA Education with Leadership and Management?
Yeah, so I think it's just the same like everyone. So before we decided to study abroad, we did a lot of researches about different university in the UK, and finally we decided to me myself decided to study in the University of Huddersfield with education, because I would like to work in the educational sector, would like to help students throughout their studies. With University of Huddersfield, I feel like I've done the research, and basically the rank of education is quite high compared to other university in the UK. And also I was interested in the curriculum with the models I've been studying. Also, yeah, apart from the living cost that Ian has shared to us, I also want to make a point that like the Huddersfield is really easy to commute. Like you can stay in Huddersfield, but when you want to travel or you want to go to different cities, different countries, it's really easier to travel because it's in the middle of UK. Yeah.
Yeah, another really good point is that, yeah, it is. We are right in the middle. So actually getting to places is quite easy. So when you come and study here, there's that opportunity for you to go and see other parts of the UK as well. Nam, I don't know if you want to add anything
Yeah.
from your experience to this.
Yeah, so actually I started my bachelor as a TESOL. So I had a bachelor in teaching English to speak of other language in Vietnam. And to be honest, the University of Huddersfield is quite popular in terms of like teaching and teaching practices in Vietnam. So actually I dreamt of going here since I was at my university. And then after I finished my bachelor, so I decided to pursue the postgraduate here in the UK. So the University of Huddersfield was always my top priority because like I know they have TESOL, so and the price here was quite affordable as well. And but then I realized that I spent like 4 years like doing a bachelor in TESOL already. So I wouldn't want to spend like another 1 year of my life in TESOL. So I decided to learn something different, something more broad in terms of education. So that's why I enrolled in the MA education, similar to Kate, but my pathway was different. It was technology enhanced learning. So I have been always been a fan of technology. So that's why. Yeah.
Thank you, Nam. And I think again that great point of being able to switch to something, because a lot of our education courses allow you not only to, if you've done something as an undergraduate and move into postgraduate, but also in terms of your career options once you've finished, that they do lead to lots of different things. And even though you might not have studied that directly, sometimes there's opportunities because there's what we call in the careers world transferable skills. So that opportunity to use the skills you've developed on a particular course and use them slightly differently in your job, which I'm guessing a lot of you will have done. I certainly know that Nam is doing that. He's using a lot of his transferable skills in the jobs that I give him.
Yeah, I know, right?
So you kind of those two questions, you've answered them really, really well and given us lots of information. What I would like to know is obviously you're all being really, really positive about your experience, but we know, particularly as international students, and I think our audience today, we've got a lot of international, well, the people here today are international, and a lot of our international students will watch this recording back. What sort of challenges did you face in coming to study in the UK? And either how did you overcome them, or what support were you given to overcome? And if we keep in the same order, just so that I don't get confused and miss anybody, if we start with Yen again, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you for the question. A lot of people asked me if I felt homesick when I was in the UK, but actually I didn't feel any homesick at all, because we have a very big Vietnamese community, and also the school organized a lot of activities for us to take part in together. So in terms of mentality, I was so happy and excited during my time studying in the UK. However, I struggled a lot at the very beginning because I didn't know how to read and write effectively. Especially, I had to read a lot of journals and articles a day preparing for my assignments, and I didn't know how to organize my assignments, right? Because I had never written any long assignment with thousands of words before. However, I attended some sections named International Development, and my tutor, Erin, was extremely supportive and nice. She even helped me even after school hours. She responded to my emails very quickly, sometimes even at night. Yeah, so after like 1 or 2 weeks, my writing and also my reading skills enhanced a lot. So I was I was so grateful for Erin. Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, I don't think I had other struggles at the very beginning.
Thank you. And on to UK, if you've had any challenges that you faced when you came to study in the UK.
Yeah, to be honest, just same like everyone, homesick is one of the most concerned at that moment. But when we first came here, the universities really welcome us, and arrange a lot of activities for international students to get to know each other. And also the tutors, the lecturers, they are really helpful. They like keep checking up on you to see if you're doing well. And the another challenge I think for international student is the language barrier. But when you come to the university, you have the first term just to build up your language skills and writing, listening skills, things like that, your soft skill. And also after that, you have chances to discuss with your tutor. One more thing that I want to mention is I feel I can see the difference between the learning style here and learning style back to my home. So basically, when I used to study a bachelor degree in my country, Vietnam, I don't feel like I was proactive enough. But then when I came here, we got a lot of opportunity, chances to share our ideas to discuss with a tutor, or maybe some kind of argument. But I think like the more you discuss, the deeper knowledge that you can gain. So just try to be open and make use of all the opportunities that the tutor given to you to improve your knowledge and skills.
Thank you. And actually, Nam has just put something really useful in the chat, which is the International Learning Development module, which both of you have referenced there, and you mentioned Erin. So we have an academic skills tutor within the school who is specifically employed to support international students, and her name is Erin. And she does teach on the International Learning Development module. And a big part of that is familiarising yourself with how to study in the UK. So if that is something you are worried about, and I know it's something that comes up when we speak to international students a lot, is that, you know, we do have a lot of support there, and there's timetable support, so there's support that you have to attend, but there's also the additional things that you can contact Erin for, kind of out of hours, as was alluded to there. And Nam, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
So in terms of my challenge, when I first started here, so to be honest, the amount of reading was a challenge to me when I first started like my degree here. So, oh wait, I had
I'll do
to
that. It's all
admit,
right, I'll do that for me.
I got to admit. All right. So to be honest, the amount of reading was quite huge for me. So you know, you'll be studying like 2 modules during a term. So that will be a lot of readings for both modules. And so actually, so I agree with our two alumni that Erin was very helpful to me. She's very supportive in terms of like tips for me to read, how to read effectively and how to write effectively. And to be honest, it was a lifesaver to me back then when I started my degree here. And to be honest, like I got a wide range of support that I can book at any times. So when I need like jobs, I can contact careers, and when I need academic support, I can need tips for learning, I can contact my academic skill tutor Erin, or the personal academic tutor, which is who is like a lecturer at the school. So you'll be assigned to like a PAT and an AST. The PAT is personal academic tutor, and academic skill tutor, who is Erin. So if you are coming here, if you are an applicant for the school, so don't worry, we got you. We got a lot of support for you here.
And I think there's some really good points there, is that yes, there's so much support available across a whole range of things. So there's the academic support, but there's also support with careers, there's support with mental health and disability and all of that. And some of it is given to you. So some of it is timetabled and it's there for you, and you don't really have to do anything about it. Some of it you have to seek out yourself, and that's a really big tip. And I always used to give this to any student coming to university, because sometimes that can be a bit of a difference to how you may have worked before, where maybe support was just given to you when you needed it. And there's some aspects of universities in the UK where it's absolutely there, but you might need to seek that out yourself. And what my biggest tip is, don't be scared of asking for help and going and seeking that support, because it's absolutely there. So moving on to talking a little bit more about your course and the things that you developed as part of your course. So what skills and knowledge did you develop for your course, and how have these helped you with your career plans? So if we start with Yen again.
Yeah, thank you again for the question. So actually, I have so many things to say for the question, because I learned a lot during my course. So, for example, I learned how to deal with a lot of different kinds of students, how to prepare my lessons effectively, how to manage my time in class and also in my private life. I think all in all, I know exactly what I need to do to bring the best experience for my students, and how to help my students better their English. And so for my future plan, and also my research skills. During the course, I knew how to read effectively, as I mentioned earlier, and I also I was also inspired to further my studies. Honestly, before I started my MA course in the University of Huddersfield, I didn't think about studying something like PhD because I thought that all right is something that was too ambitious for me. But when I studied in but during my course, I got a lot of advice and support from my tutor, especially Eileen, and she told me about my potential, how to, and my ability to further my study. And she asked me, and she advised me to continue my study and apply for PhD course. So that's the thing that I really felt very grateful to Eileen, my tutor. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's really nice that it was, and believe me, a lot of people feel that they think PhD, oh my goodness, that's for really, really clever people, isn't it? And I think when you come to the university and then you get that inspiration and that feedback from your teachers and realize that it is something that is achievable for you, I can see how happy that's made you. So that's fantastic. If Kate, I know I think I've lost Kate. Hopefully she can still hear us.
Yeah,
So same
still
question
here.
to you about the skills and knowledge that you developed and how that's helped you with your career.
Yeah, so basically in my course, I've studied about leadership, obviously because my pathway is leadership and management. So I focus more on leadership skills. And also I also learned about mentoring and coaching. So when I talk about leadership or mentoring or coaching, so many people think that, oh, I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be a mentor. So why do I need to study that? But to be honest, it's really helpful for you because it's like transferable skills. You don't really learn to be a leader. You learn how to listen to people actively. You learn how to manage your time effectively. You learn how to critically think about an issue and like try to solve the problem. So it's a lot of soft skills that really helpful for you to apply for a job in the future, or even you want to do more research or go into like a really academic job. It's really helpful to you.
So just a follow-up question to Kate before I move on to Nam is you mentioned you were working at Arden University
Yeah.
in student support. So are you supporting international students or are you supporting all students in that
So
role?
basically, yeah, I'm supporting all the students, whoever based on the campus. We support them with all different aspect, like their academic. If we try to help them our best, if not, then we refer them to academic skill tutor. Same like that. If they have like a mental health or physical health issues or with finance problem, literally everything. So basically, we like a first point contact, and if we can, we try our best to help them, to support them, and if we can, we just post them to a different department. From my experience, as I say, lots of students, they scared or maybe they not even aware of different kind of support that the university can provide. But I think if you ask or if you spend a little bit of time to research on it, or maybe just keep checking your student emails, because every event's open or every support we have, we always send an email to a student. It's work same to all the university in the UK, I believe, not only my university when I'm working at. Yeah, so we provide different type of support regarding your lifestyle, your mental health, everything related to you and have an impact on your study. We support you with that.
Thank you. And I guess apart from the skills and knowledge that you developed while you were a student, I imagine that just having been a student at university is a really good experience for you in the
Yep.
job that you're doing, because you've been there, you've done that, you are
Yeah.
then able to advise students on that themselves.
Yeah.
So Nam, about the skills and knowledge that you developed and how that's helping you with your career.
Oh, um, okay. So I think the biggest skill that I got a chance to develop after I complete my master here is my research skills. So back then, when I was at the bachelor level, so I didn't do much researching then. So when I started my master degree here, so I have to do a lot of research. This includes like working on my own, selecting my own pace of learning, and also one very important thing here is to the ability to think critically and write critically. I think it's very important for like well, so when you learn at a higher level, especially postgraduate and upper, uh, how to read critically and write critically, I think is one of the core keys skill here that you need to achieve once you complete the master degree. And in terms of like daily life, I got a lot of skills in terms of like managing my life, how to balance between work and work life, maintain my work life balance basically, and how to like do multiple things at a time. So apart from learning, you have a lot of other things to do, like your own life. But however, try to prioritize your study. I always like maintain my priority of the study as the top priority. And Jody, by the way, I think one student is having a question, so maybe we can leave the question to the end of the section.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to
Yeah.
say that. So I can see that somebody's popped a question in the chat. So if you do have any questions for either myself or any of the speakers, obviously Nam is a member of staff at university as well, but any of our alumni, whether that be about their own journey or about the university itself, feel free to pop them in the chat, because I've only got a couple more questions to ask our alumni. So once I've asked those questions, I will come to the questions that have been posted in the chat. So if you do think of anything, feel free to write that down. And for the question that's there already, I have seen it, and I will absolutely come to that at the end of the session. So I think some of you have alluded to this already, and you've mentioned this because you've all been very, very positive about your experience. But my kind of next question is, would you recommend doing a postgraduate qualification? But also, would you recommend doing the postgraduate qualification here at Huddersfield, I guess? So there's two parts to that question. And we'll do the same order as well.
All right.
Yeah, so I actually already introduced the course to some of my students because as a teacher, I also teach some students who are also planning to have TESOL courses in the future. Yeah, so I could recommend the University of Huddersfield because of the reasons that I mentioned earlier, and also because of my own experience in the University of Huddersfield. And yeah, so if I had to vote, I think I would give the university 10 out of 10.
We can't ask better for that, can we? Absolutely. And I think as well, one of the things where if what you're doing is worthwhile and people value it is if they are recommending it to other people, which is what you are saying you do. And we do get a lot of that, kind of a lot of personal recommendations from previous students, which must mean we're doing something right. So if Kate, same question to you is, would you recommend postgraduate studying? Would you recommend studying at the University of Huddersfield?
I think postgraduate degree is a really good choice if you know exactly what you want to do in the future, because you already spent 4 years on your bachelor. So if you still don't know what career you want to go for, it's really hard. But if you know exactly what you like, what you would like to do in the future, is that your dream job? You will get a dream job after you graduate from the uni. So I think, yeah, just go for it, because you don't really you not only gain your knowledge about the field that you want to work in, but you also gain transferable skills, and also open your knowledge, because once you move into a different countries, you see the world different, and it's really really good for you to be more open-minded. Regarding the courses in University of Huddersfield, I think most of students already know that we have a really high rank of employability rate. So most people graduate from University of Huddersfield, they uh, have higher chance, let's say, have a higher chance to get a job, because the skill that they have learned and also the support that the university provide to the student is really, really helpful. So myself, to be honest, I get this job I'm doing at the moment because I've used I get support from the career department from University of Huddersfield. So they help me to correct my CV, to amend my CV, to build my skills, and to give me some tips about my interviews. And yeah, that's a
Thank
really
you. Brilliant. Thank you very much. And Nam, I know it's quite difficult for you to answer this question because you work for us,
Yeah.
so you obviously have to recommend that. But I guess you can talk generally about the benefits of postgraduate study.
Yeah, I think I strongly agree with Kate. So if you have determined whether you want to follow a profession like in teaching or not, so I think if you have decided to follow teaching in a very professional way, I would suggest that the postgraduate has become a nearly like a must-have nowadays. And the University of Huddersfield is like an ideal place for you to do here because we got a very high quality lecture. The knowledge here is very good. The resources here and the support here is widely available for all of you. And and I think learn like having a postgraduate degree is like a very important milestone in terms of your career, especially if you want to follow teaching, like professional teaching in the future. Like when you got like a postgraduate, you would see the world in a very different way. To be honest, you will become like more critical. You think a lot about things you read and write every day. One
Are
moment.
there
Yeah. Yeah. So as I said before, so you will think you will see the world in a very different way. So I think that would be very precious. Yeah. Especially for teachers in the modern society, like teachers nowadays has become a very like different profession from that in the past. So we need to like show the students like different aspects of life, different ways to see life. And I think like having a postgraduate degree could help you gain that kind of viewpoint so that you can transmit back to your students.
And I think that's a really good point, because there are courses that we do that are training you to do a specific job, so that to do that job you need to have those qualifications. And then there's some of our postgraduate courses that are a little bit more generic, which are not necessarily training you to do a specific job, but are really, really valued by employers. So I think knowing what you want to do, and quite often that's what people are doing with their postgraduate studies, is that they focused on a particular career and that's why they're studying that. So some really good points made by everybody there. And I just have one final question before I open it up to any questions that our guests might have, which is really, what are your top tips for coming to study at the university and for studying at postgraduate level? I know some of you have talked about them already, but really, sort of what advice would you be giving to our applicants, and what advice would you give to current students about studying at this level? So if we go to you, Yen, again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I think before starting the course, students really need to find out about their curriculum, about the subjects they're going to learn, about their lecturers, and they can get some advice from the alumni who studied in the same course, maybe to get some tips in terms of both academic and also both, private life. And another thing is that during the time you study in the university, you really need to find out about activities in the university, because sometimes you just don't know about them. For example, I was a bit, I regret a bit, because when I was studying in the University of Huddersfield, I didn't know that the first school trip to Liverpool. So I really, so I was a bit upset about it. So yeah, my advice for students, if you want to study in the University of Huddersfield, you really need to find out more about social activities that are offered by the university, and also try to get out of your comfort zones, because if you want to really grow up, if you really want to open your connections, you really need to open your circle, and you really need to find out more about activities, and also try to maybe you can go to some websites, read some blogs from students, and also watch some videos. I think that the university has some YouTube videos, and also some a lot of journals, articles for the students to read more about the life in the university. So yeah, so that's it for my advice.
That's great top tips, because quite often we talk about the academic side of things, but actually remembering you're here to embrace the whole experience, and making sure you're making the most of that while you're here is really important. So Kate, what would your top tips be?
Yeah, so for me, I feel like if we already step out of our comfort zone to a different country, so the main thing is we just try to be the best proactive as we can. So proactive here, I want to say is like just um, try to do everything by yourself, but at the same time know that you got different type of support that the university provides. So what you can do yourself is research about the university, research about the support. Like for example, if you're spending your time surfing Facebook or Instagram, you can follow like the fan page or the university Instagram. So they post really useful information every single day, and it's about everything. It's about the trip, the school trip, or about like tips for your careers, or all different type of activities, or maybe just some beautiful scenes that you want to see around you in Huddersfield or around West Yorkshire, things like that. And also just try to reach out to your tutor, to your lecturers, and gain some more experience and to gain some more feedback from them, because feedback is a really good way that you can know about your strengths, about your weaknesses, that's the thing that you need to improve. And again, just to mention about the career wise, because everyone's really keen on it. So if you make use of the support that the university provide, you get, I think it's there's high chance of possibility that you will be able to get a job here. When I first came here, everyone said that it's really hard to get a job in the educational sector because it's already really competitive and lots of people apply for it. And I myself found that when I first applied to a job, I see like a thousand like people apply for it at the same time and the job closed really quickly. But I mean, if you be proactive, search for it and also ask for people working at that organization, or also asking for support from the university, how to do your interview, how to make your CV look better, stuff like that. Like I think it's really it's not hard at all to get a job, to be honest.
I think that tip of using the career service is really important, because that's what
Yeah.
it's there for. And they are the experts on the labour market and what people are looking for. So I think it's a really good tip to make sure people are using that service.
Yeah.
And don't wait till the end of your course to use that service. You
Yeah,
can use it as soon as you
exactly.
arrive.
Yeah, so I know that post grad degree is a really hard one, and also everything squeezed in 1 year. Sometimes you don't even have time to look for other things. But as soon as you have free time, just look for it. Go to the website, see what they can offer, and just planning something. And as soon as you graduate, once you got the degree, you can start applying for different type jobs.
Yeah, perfect, fantastic. And Nam, that final question to you: what top tips would you be giving people on the call today?
Yeah, so my top tips. So my first tip is gonna be similar to what Ian said before. So I think I know that as international student, when we come to the UK, like being homesick is like inevitable. I think so. So at the School of Education, we offer a lot of like social activities for you, and they are excited, to be honest. So we got day trips, we got workshops, we got tours of campus, we got tours of the town, a lot of activities for you to engage in and to know more people around here. So I know studying should be your top priority, but please do have a social life. Otherwise, you're gonna get too stressed with learning, to be honest. And the second thing is to like you should try to like maintain a work-life balance. So I know studying could be stressful sometime, but you need to do something else. Maybe like get a part-time job to make ends meet, or maybe like getting like hanging out a little bit. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Other.
All right. Maybe hanging out a little bit with your friends after the class. That will de-stress you a lot, because you are living alone now. So the life could be like, I think it's lonely sometime, but with all the support and with all the networks here, so each of the country in the other university Huddersfield we have a designated community for you. So for example, like I'm a Vietnamese student, so I have the Vietnamese community. So if you are an Indian student, you have a very big Indian community. The same applies with Nigerian and Pakistani. So try to engage more with the social life around here, not just priority on like studying only. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that would be my top tips. And
And yep, I absolutely agree, because it is, you're here for an experience as well, and the studying is just part of it, and the people you can meet, and it's a, like you said, a really good way of preventing you from being homesick, because if you're socializing, and I think Jan talked about this, that she didn't feel too homesick because she found a Vietnamese community in
yeah.
Huddersfield, which can be quite comforting. So engaging in those social activities are really important. We do have a couple of questions in the chat, which I'll respond to you now. So, but just a call out for everybody else on the chat. If you do have any other questions you want to ask myself, Nam, or our other alumni, then please do type those in the chat, or we can allow you to speak if you wanted to. But the first question is around, it's saying, how can you tell me how we can get teaching jobs on campus? Now, there are job opportunities for students to work at the university. In terms of teaching, they tend to be if they tend to be PhD students that do a little bit of teaching. We don't tend to have our kind of our master's level students teaching other students, but that doesn't mean there isn't opportunities for you to get involved in that. So we do employ PhD level students to do some teaching, but for all other students we have things like our student ambassador scheme. You can become a student ambassador at the university, which allows you to work on a range of events with students, and it's a paid role as well. So for those of you who are thinking that you would like a job, and if you're wanting to work in education as well, student ambassador role is a really excellent role to do if we think back to transferable skills and skills that you're developing, because it often allows you to get involved with events running at the university, or activities that are taking place at the university, and sometimes it can be other types of work as well. So actually working in some of the offices, working with some of the teams. So there are lots of opportunities. We have a university job shop, which is based within the Careers and Employability Service. And the job shop advertises jobs, not just within the university, but also external to the university. Students are able to work, but they are limited to 15 hours a week. So there is a limit on how many hours you can work as a student. Um, and Nam's just popped the job shop link in there. So there are opportunities to work at the university, but unless you're a PhD level student, it's unlikely that that will be teaching. But if you were to progress onto a PhD, then that would be possible. So I hope that's answered that question for you. And Edna has a question about wanting to know about the job prospects for people who are studying the MA education, but with special educational needs. So with all of our MA education courses, you have the opportunity to specialise. So we've talked today, Kate, she studied the leadership and management. We have special educational needs. Nam did technology enhanced learning. So you do gain some generic knowledge about education, which is very valuable in a whole range of different types of jobs. But having that specialism in special educational needs is likely to lead to jobs where you are supporting people who have those additional needs. So that might be working in a school or a college, so supporting young people who have special educational needs. So that happens frequently. Also, there are roles within universities where you are supporting students as well. So you would be likely to be looking at jobs that allow you to be working in that supportive type role. And I know Nam's popped his hand up there.
Yeah, so I want to add what Jody just said. So normally in terms of like special educational needs, you work with like specific students with specific like disability. It would be normally in schools, and in the university job shop there will be a lot of agencies there recruiting people working with students with special disabilities. So I think it's quite aligned with your specialization that you can see over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And those jobs, like Nam said, they we always have lots of them advertised through our job shop, and they can quite often be work supporting an individual student within a school. So being a teaching assistant within a school, looking after and supporting a specific student with a specific need. But the skills and knowledge that you develop as part of that is likely to allow you to move into lots of different roles. So a question around getting a teaching job after doing an MA education in university. So will the MA education allow you to go into teaching in university? The answer to that is possibly. And it will very much depend on the university and depend on the subjects that you want to teach. So quite often at a university, so a university like ours, for example, we will employ people who have a master's in a relevant subject with an expectation that you will do your PhD once you start. Some universities would expect you to already have a PhD before you enter. Other universities are happy to take people at master's level. That is talking about the UK. How that works internationally will very much vary. So what I would recommend you do is speak to our career service, but also just have a look on, any universities where you're thinking, or that you're familiar with, and have a look at what jobs they're advertising, because they will have the entry requirements and what they are asking for. So if they are asking for a specific qualification, it will tell you. But essentially, yes, it can lead to teaching, because to work as a lecturer at a university, you do need to be holding at least a master's level qualification. But some universities will expect you to have a PhD, or at least expect you to get your PhD when you're working. So hope that answers the question. So this is around information on offers and interviews. Okay, so I mean, what I can do is, we can't comment on individual student records or individual student offers. All I would say is that we have been inundated with applications. So the international office are incredibly busy. So I can imagine that it is just a case of they, providing you have an offer and they have said they will invite you for interview, that will be happening at some point. But we can certainly have a look into the background. We can't share that information publicly, but it's something that we can flag up with the international office to let them know, and so we can find out if there is any delays. And if there are delays, Nam can communicate that via the WhatsApp group,
Yes.
which I'm assuming is that what you were going to type,
Yeah.
as you were saying. Yeah. So although because it's quite challenging for me and Nam, because we're not subject to the information that the international office have on your offer and on your information on your application. But we can certainly ask them if there's any specific delays and communicate that to you, and we can only apologise. And essentially it is because there's just they're trying to get through lots of applications at the minute. So don't worry, you're still within the time frame of everything needing to be done. So there shouldn't be anything for you to worry about. So hopefully that might reassure you. So I can see that somebody is typing, so I'll just give them a little second if there are any other questions. Just while see if we have any more questions coming through, I just want to say a big thank you to our panel today, and I know Nam kind of got pulled in at the last minute there to act as an alumni, because unfortunately one of our scheduled alumni clearly wasn't able to make it. But thank you very much, and thank you very much, Kate. I really appreciate you giving up your time, because I could sit here and talk through all of those things, but it is nowhere near as effective as when it's coming from people who have lived that experience and who have been students recently. So thank you very much. It is really appreciated. I can just see that one last question to come through. You have done. You can get part-time job in the university. It will probably not be teaching. It won't be as a lecturer, because as I mentioned, we tend to use PhD students for that, not master's level students, but you can apply for part-time jobs in the universities, and there are lots of part-time jobs. Student ambassador is just one of them. Sometimes there are admin related jobs, and sometimes short-term contracts working in particular departments. So yes, you absolutely can, and I would recommend when you get here engaging with the university job shop, because that is where the jobs tend to be advertised. Nursing, job opportunities in nursing are incredibly positive at the minute. There is a skill shortage in the UK for qualified nurses. So if you are coming to us to study nursing, there are jobs. I'm not a nursing expert because we're based in the School of Education. What I would recommend you doing is contacting, and I'm just going to try and find if you give me 1 second, I can get somebody's email address.
School of Health and Human Science, I think so.
So if I give you
let me find for you.
Yeah, now I'm just going to find that. So what we'll do is we'll share an email address with you, which is will take you directly to the School of Human and Health Sciences.
Yeah,
so that is where our nursing department is. So they will be able to answer this question for you. I wouldn't want to give you any poor advice on this. So yeah, if you contact that email address that Nam has just popped in the chat, they will be able to help you. One, to just kind of your very first question around job opportunities. Job opportunities in nursing are you know, they are absolutely there. There is a huge skill shortage in the UK of qualified nurses. So there are job opportunities, but you would need to speak to the School of Human and Health Sciences to get more information on how that works for you as an international student. So thank you very much for your questions and for engaging. I really hope that people have found this useful, informative. I love hearing stories from our students because it is great to hear their perspective. So I would just like to say another big thank you. This has been recorded, so will be shared because there were a number of people who were unable to make it today. And if you wanted to look back on this, if there's you wanted to kind of pick up on what those top tips were again or something like that, you can review it again and that will be shared. But thank you very much for attending. There are a number of other webinars coming up in the coming weeks and coming months, so please do look out for them and pop along. They all have a different theme, and all of them are aimed at supporting you in your application and your transition to coming to be a student at Huddersfield. If you're already a student with us, a lot of those sessions will be aimed, some of those sessions will be aimed at supporting you in your next step. So please look at when we advertise them on Facebook, on our screens, and via our WhatsApp groups as well. So thank you very much, and big thank you especially to Nam, who's done the vast majority of organising for this. So he deserves an extra special mention. So we will leave that there today. So thank you very much. Thank you again to our alumni, and hope to see you all again soon.
Jody, we're gonna have an event tomorrow. Can you remind the students we have an event tomorrow?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Before everybody disappears, there is an event tomorrow, and that is our LinkedIn event, isn't it, Nam? So we have a webinar tomorrow being run by our Careers and Employability Service. So we've talked a lot about them today. So our Careers and Employability Service are running a service on getting the most out of LinkedIn. And I think that's a really good session, even for students who are not yet with us, to be engaging with, because actually setting up your LinkedIn profile and getting the most out of it while you're a student can really help you as you progress through the course and then onto employability afterwards. So please pop along to that, because our Careers and Employability Service are absolutely fantastic, and they will be giving you some excellent tips on getting the most out of LinkedIn. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, they will be advertised on our Facebook and WhatsApp group as well.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Nam. Thank you for the reminder.
Okay, so stay tuned to our social media. So I'll post the link to the events tomorrow again, so that you guys can join tomorrow. Okay.
And hope to see some of you there, if not all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
We'll make sure no more questions are coming through. I think everyone's.